What's up, everybody? I wanted to do this video because it's something that I was looking for when I was doing my research, and also it's just sort of a little review slash reveal slash brag about my Anovos Proton Pack build. Here she is. Ain't she a beaut? Still needs some weathering. I haven't put any paint on it anywhere. Just glue and screws right now. But yeah, it's pretty great. And so we got the base Anovos Proton Pack kit, which I have added the GB Fans Wand Light kit, the GB Fans Pack Light kit, the soundboard, and a few little tweaks of my own. Credit where credit is due, though. My father was a big part of this. But we have on here, hidden behind the HGA, we got a little kill switch and a little charging port, so I don't have to open it up all the time. So here we go. I can power it on just right from here. Also in here is literally the largest car speaker we could possibly fit inside the cyclotron here, which was a challenge considering the size of the reflector cups that I got for the cyclotron lights. So overall, this thing is fantastic. It took, well, first of all, it took 2 years to get to me, and second of all, it took the better part of 3.5 days to put together. And you know, obviously I'm mixing kits here. I'm mixing GB Fan stuff with the Anovos. They have not released any word on their light and sound package, if they are going to ever have one. Even the Alice frame that I have here, I got off of eBay. I originally ordered an Alice frame from Anovos, but I still have seen hide nor hair of it. So ended up going on eBay, finding this one for about $40. I think an original LC2. That worked out great. Yeah, I'm super happy with it. Biggest critiques? The instructions. Non-existent. They give you nothing with that PDF. I don't even think I can show you because I threw the damn things away. But there are so many missing things from those instructions. I mean, there's no list of parts. The list of nuts and bolts and things is not even accurate. When you go to put the finishing touches on, there's things like the little black tubing that goes over the tubes. There's not even any mention of it. They're included, but what you do with them, I guess, is up to you, because there's no instruction on that. I know a lot of people don't like the fake clipboards. I mean, I went with what they gave you with the sticker that says Anovos. I just kind of twisted it in a way where it's not super noticeable at first. I don't really care about that. Maybe at some point I'll upgrade it to have some real clipboards. But yeah, once this thing gets some weathering on it, I'm gonna be A-okay with it. So biggest challenges, obviously adding the pack lights to it. I mean, the shell. When you get the shell, cyclotron lights are cut out. Fantastic. Things that you do have to Dremel out. Oh, also on the instructions, the list of tools that you need include a hobby knife and glue, and that's it, and like screwdrivers. You need a lot more than that. I can't even tell you the different kinds of tools that we ended up using, but Dremel is going to be one of the big ones. So you got to Dremel out the hole for the ribbon cable to go in through right here. No big deal. It was easy. Ended up having a nice clean hole. This one was a pain. It is recessed, but there is a whole layer of fiberglass there that you got to Dremel out. And worse than that is that from the inside, I'm not going to open it up right now. From the inside, Anovos gives you a little blue plastic, right? It says to glue it on the inside. There is no room. 45 minutes to an hour of dremeling just to have this blue plastic sit flush to the inside of the pack after dremeling, and that's after dremeling out just the hole. So be ready for a challenge there, whether you're going to put pack lights in or not, just to get all the extra gunk and all the extra fiberglass in here. Made it so you could not get that blue acrylic, that's it, the blue acrylic into there. So the added step of putting the pack light board, which is this board right here with the lights on it, was a whole nother can of worms. Trying to make space not only for the blue acrylic but for the lights behind it was, I mean, that took a day of planning and then a half a day of execution. It was a real pain. Be ready for that. Other than that, yeah, just the instructions, man. The instructions are non-existent. So make sure you got time. Make sure you got space. Make sure if you're working with somebody else that you don't get on each other's nerves like my father and I did a couple of times, because it's a chore. I also ended up using a lot of not hobby glue or super glue, but like this epoxy where we would you have to mix the resin with the hardener, and it makes for a real nice hold, and that's what a lot of this is being held together by. Yes, the complaint I heard, it's true. There are some holes that do not line up. It wasn't a huge deal. There was a couple of times where we had to get a drill out and shift a hole over once or twice. But the worst was on the bottom side of the particle thrower. That was a pain. The holes here were not even close, and we had to find a different set of screws. We had to supply our own screws. These are supposed to be hex bolts, and there's some edges of this are still not even down because of how bad these holes are lined up. I thought my dad was gonna have a second heart attack. So that was a real pain, but we got through it. So randomly this one piece, this trigger tip comes black. You get a lot of nice metal pieces and little brass fittings, but for some reason this trigger tip wasn't made out of the same. It's made out of the black resin, the black fiberglass, just like most of the pieces, and it wasn't. So we ended up going with like a chrome. It doesn't exactly match. It's not as shiny, but I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so turned out great. Here, oh yeah, and the speaker. Oof, big speaker. Ready? Oh, nope. There it is. The other thing we went for is the rumble motor, and that was a pain to find space in there for that. That was a challenge. So we not only added the charging port and the battery switch here, we also added a potentiometer, so a volume control, also on the outside of the pack, that lets me crank this mother up, or have it real low. You know, if you're somewhere indoors, you don't want to blow a bunch of pop too many heads, bust too many heads. So here it is down here. You can see. Right there, just above where the hose connects, and I think it fits the aesthetic. Like, there was an option to put a little volume head on it, so it actually looked like a volume control, but no way. I mean, that looks great, I thought. It just looks like another, fitting or, cyclotron doodad on there, which is great. Other things. Other things that I wouldn't mind upgrading. Maybe someday I'll get some real clipboards. I'm definitely going to put some weathering on it, some paint. But the stickers, I wouldn't mind having some nice, like, metal stickers, that don't that that don't, when it, like just the other night, Halloween weekend, it was raining, not super hard, otherwise I wouldn't have taken it out, but the stickers got a little wet and they, look like stickers. So I wouldn't mind if those were a little more like those rub-ons and the metal stickers. Other than that, some real directions would have been nice. Other than that, some real directions would have been nice. An actual explanation as to where all these hoses and the fittings go, because damn if they leave you in the dark on that. But listen, overall, and full disclosure, I ordered this when the price was still $600. There's a reserve list now, and the price is up to $950. So, more than 50%, more than a 50% price. So more than a 50% price increase might be too much for you guys. But honestly, coming from somebody who had no build history, my father's worked on cars. I'm good with my hands, but I have no history with this stuff. This was great for me. It was great to have help. It was great to have the tools. I wouldn't go into this blind. But if you have somebody with even the slightest bit of, engineering wits about them and a good set of tools, I couldn't have done much better for $600. I'm super happy. But if you're somebody who doesn't mind, also the fact that it went from 0 to finished in 4 days, you know what I mean? If you're somebody who's been slowly gathering parts and fashioning your own thing over the course of years, then it's power to you. It just wasn't really possible for me, especially living in a small apartment in Brooklyn. So would recommend, I guess. Would recommend. I love it. I put a lot of blood and sweat into it. It definitely, even though it's a kit, it does feel like, it feels very much like a personal build. You know what I mean? It's customizable enough where you'll make it your own. If you guys have any questions, I might make another video where I go in a little bit more detail about snags we hit along the way. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And thanks for everybody who asked me questions already. And this is for you. Guys, see you on the other side. Happy busting.